Alright, let's go with number 1. What mass in grams of the excess reagent remains when 125 grams of P4 reacts with 323 grams of Cl2 according to the equation below? You may assume 100% yield for the reaction. Okay, so the way that we start this is we have 125 grams of P4, and we want to divide it by the molar mass, as you know, so I'll spare you the time, and it's 123.896 grams per mole of PL4, or P4. Then, as you see at the equation, you have 4 PCl3 to 1 P4. So what you're going to do is you're going to have 4 PCl3 over 1 P4. That way, it crosses out the P4 here and the P4 here and leaves you with PCl3. So, what you can do now is have 125 times 4 divided by 123.896. And that gets you 4.06 moles, or I'm sorry, 4.04 moles of PCl3. And then now we got to check what we will get with the 323 grams of Cl2. So we multiply it by 1 over 70.9 grams per mole of Cl2. And then we multiply it by, again, so what you do here is you want to have what you're looking for on the top and what you're trying to get away from on the bottom. So you're going to have 4 PCl3 over 6 Cl2, just like that, so that you can cross out the Cl2 here and then cross out the Cl2 here. Even if, no matter what you do, you have to do the mole-to-mole conversion if you're going from one compound to the other, because ratios matter. And then that will equal, let's see, 323 times 4 divided by 70.9 times 6, which gets us 3.04 moles of PCl3. So now we know that the limiting factor is the chlorine, because we're able to only produce 3, but if you were doing it based off of the phosphorus, you would get 4. So we know that P4 is the excess, right? So what we do now is we're trying to find the excess reagent that remains. So we know that it's 4. So X grams of P4 times 1 over 123.896. Let's see, 1 mole over that grams times 4 PCl3 over 1 P4. And then instead of knowing that it's going to be this, since this is the maximum we could create, because this is the limiting, you do 3.037 here moles. So we kind of just work backwards on this one. So we're going to say that, right, times, we're going to divide it by the 4 here, and then we're going to multiply it by this, since, you multiply both sides. And then that gets us x grams, so x is going to be equal to 94.07. So we know that's the amount of grams of phosphor, or P4, that's going to be used when we have this number of moles. So our last step is to take however many grams there were initially, so 125 grams minus 94.07. So we know that, let's see, 125 minus the answer. And that gets us 30, right here it says 30.9 grams of P4 will remain. I think the main thing you were confused on was the mole to mole conversion. You have to do that, otherwise the proportions won't make sense. Alright, I'll start on number 2 next.